listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 3, Episode 11, Insane in the Mainframe, with your hosts, Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
Pete Woodward.
I'm convinced at this point that when we were in Hawaii for the surfing tournament, we should have left the tiki god alone in the cave when we found it.
Am I the only person that gets that reference?
Maybe.
And me, reference getter, Rick Horchie. Joining us today is our special guest, Laura Wimbels. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
It's lovely to have you here. You are the second guest to join our show from the Halloween party, and we have a third one on deck.
From my Halloween party?
From your Halloween party.
Wonderful.
And I think actually, no, there's going to be a gap in between the episodes. But I think I met you the first time when you were on my wife's now defunct podcast.
Yes.
And then you happen to be everywhere, and we have a million mutual friends.
Yes.
Always a good talk.
Tiny Cleveland.
Yeah,
that effect.
It's that big.
It's a petri dish.
Except for Tom
every
and
year I
Horchie.
get older, it's like I meet 10 or 20 more people that it's like, how did we not meet each other? We already know all the same people,
Right.
et cetera.
That's exactly the situation I have with my wife. Like, we had about a dozen mutual friends for several years and never ran across each other.
Yeah.
I refuse to meet new people now.
Yeah, you're
It gets harder when you get older. So
Everyone wants to be my friend now.
just to tie it all together, I am now part of the parental death squad because my stepfather passed away a couple days ago. So this podcast is clearly
that
cursed.
sounds like a guerrilla warfare gang and
It could be. It could be.
The
We could
parental
take all
death
that
squad?
rage and go topple the government or something.
I mentioned that unfortunate news today to somebody, a former guest, and he called the technicality on that because it is stepdad.
It is
I
true.
argued that it didn't matter.
Well, look, it does for a variety of reasons, but you two both have stepfathers, right?
Yes.
And you don't have fathers. I still have a father. And rounding out this square round table of awesome, you also lost your father recently, right, Laura?
I did. I am a member of the DDC.
Yep.
Dead Dad Club.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, late last year. So, and the thing is, he passed away in July, and I wasn't even informed until November. So,
Wow.
Oh, wow.
the day of the election. So that was just a double
oh
whammy.
no.
That's really that's like insult and injury all wrapped up in one.
Mine was October 9th, and then I forget the order. I want to say then we lost the World Series, and then the election, and it was just like 30 days of garbage.
And then you got laid off for like 3 months.
yeah, that didn't help.
Everything coming up Horchie.
Yeah.
Hey, this is going to be your year.
Yeah, right? Yeah, 2017.
Let's hope. Mine was November 19th of last year, so had that, and then I
my sister
spent,
Caitlin's
and then I also had to spend like 3 weeks in Florida,
Yeah.
and that wasn't a lot of fun.
That's an interesting parallel because when I found out that my father had passed away, I found a $19 flight to Tampa, and I was like, I'm just going to go to Florida. So I voluntarily went to Florida.
Did you have a good time?
I did. I was by myself. I went there for 4 days. It was great. It was
Sweet.
like it had started snowing here, and then I was on the beach. It was 82.
Did you see any lizards?
You know what? I did not.
Did you see any
People,
alligators?
yes, but
Yeah,
they were
I mean,
upright
there's
on
that
2 feet.
whole breed.
No
but-
alligators, no lizards. No.
I wonder if they've become urban legends down there. You didn't see any either, right, Tom?
Lizards, I saw lizards.
But no alligators.
No, but people kept calling and telling me that I could go these places to go see them, but
They may have
just
just
didn't
been
have
fucking
time.
with you.
I saw a lot of inside office buildings
Yeah,
in Florida.
I bet. Really striking architecture with drop ceilings and acoustical tile.
Yes.
Probably beige to off beige paint.
Yeah. Some of them were kind of, like the courthouse was kind of fancy.
It looked like a Miami Vice courthouse, but it was Tampa.
I don't, no, nothing like a Miami Vice courthouse.
Didn't have its sleeves.
It's not
pushed
like
up.
Miami at all.
It's
It's a whole different horrible of Florida.
I believe
So you
you.
mean
and
most of Florida?
Yeah,
it's
Like most
Yeah.
of Ohio?
it's like shitty and unglamorous instead of shitty and glamorous. I'm gonna.
Disney World is the Cleveland of Florida. Like
I've only been to Florida
compared
twice,
to
and
the
it's to go to
Ohio.
Disney World.
I'm gonna step on your toes a little bit,
Okay.
but what now? as we've discussed this, getting you scheduled on the show, you've copped to not being much of a Futurama fan. So what is your relationship with the show, or how did you at least become aware of it?
To be fair, not that I am not much of a Futurama fan. I just haven't watched that many episodes of it. So Futurama came out while I think I was in high school. It was maybe a junior or senior.
I was
and then
a junior.
I went off to college, and I think I was just...
Not watching a lot of TV, probably.
Well, I think I was watching that 70s show and just bullshit like that, and it never grabbed onto me, and when I like something, I really like it, and then I'll binge the hell out of it. But so yeah, I've only truly seen a handful of episodes, and I used to work at Hollywood Video back in the day, so it's inexcusable. But this was a good excuse to
dive back in.
Yeah.
Do you know Hollywood Video is actually named after Hollywood, Florida?
Is that true?
I don't know. I just made that up.
And would it matter? Like,
yeah, I mean, one is tangibly more awful than the other. They
like
both
that.
have
I like making up little lies that don't matter, and then just like, because if you get away with it, it's like, oh,
I believed him for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
no way.
I used to do that periodically for a while. I would just put fake science facts out online, and the favorite one I came up with was that one charcoal briquette has as much vitamin C as 3 lemons.
See, I would believe that. It'd be
Yeah,
like, oh,
it's just
wow.
like if it's strange enough and stated with enough like confidence,
and also
they
not
do that in
Presentation.
Arrival.
going to shake the world if it's true or not. It's not going to be like, I got to look that up. That's crazy. It's just,
you can railroad a whole political party doing shit like that. I mean, it's a lot easier than it sounds. This was remarkable because it's the first cold open we've had in probably 15 or 20
and
episodes.
the last commercial.
Is it
the last fake
is this
commercial.
the final fake commercial? Do you need teeth that can eat other teeth?
I liked that a lot.
It kind of made mine hurt because I was thinking about like
That clip was what we used when Pete kept saying Futurama, and he was like, "Well, how do you know how it's pronounced?" And I'm like, and I played that clip because they say Futurama in it, which I as much as I would like to say that we won, you lost.
yeah. But then Sean John
it doesn't matter. It doesn't. However you want to pronounce it, whatever.
We're equal opportunity failures here. And then the Jumbotron was like a fake ass Yosemite Sam blowing his head off, or are you going to tell me it was Bosco again?
It's not Bosco. It was called the Mild West. I don't know. I didn't look much further into that.
It seems inappropriately named
Smart.
if people are shooting their fucking heads off. Like that's the Tarantino West.
I'd say, I mean, it could have, the next frame could have been him popping his head back out
most
of
likely.
his shirt.
It
You
probably
can't even do
was.
that anymore.
I don't know. It was quick and it was disorienting, as the Jumbotron cartoons usually are.
I thought about that when I watched it. I was like, I wonder how Pete's going to feel about it.
And now you know.
I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't. I did not care.
So they have these little fake things every episode.
Every episode, the ship crashes into a jumbotron in the above New York, and then right before it, there's like a 2-second clip of a
Public
old timey
domain.
cartoon or whatever. And
then I know it said this something brought to you by Microsoft.
oh yeah,
joke.
and there's always one of those too. It's
Okay.
kind of like their Simpsons couch gag or whatever. There's a little.
But it's a two-parter. So there's the theme, there's the catchphrase at the beginning, and then the Jumbotron cartoon. And the Jumbotron cartoons are more often than not completely bizarre. And as there's been a run of the last several episodes where it's like a clip from this character called Bosco, who's like apparently horribly racist and was banned for several years because it's just like this messed up minstrel show kind of thing. Is Bosco an animal? I always like a
He's
cat
like a dog. He's like
or a
the
cat.
classic Looney Tunes dog where it's sort of a person, but it's a
They
dog.
eventually,
It's a little button nose.
yeah, he evolved into like a dog character, but he was originally just
He's
like
just a
it was
Sambo
like
before.
yeah.
He's-
That's the best way to.
And
They
it
used to
comes
show-
up over and over and over
They
again.
used to show their reruns on Nickelodeon. I wanted it like at some point. When I was like 10 years old or something, and it was this hour that they would do. I forget if it was like right before prime time where they would show like the good cartoons, and then it would turn into Nick and Night or something like that, where there was this block where I'm like, oh, Bosco, and it was like these old. It
was the white power hour.
Yeah, and they did that for for a few years, and I remember when they like souped up the channel, there was like this commercial. That was,
Nickelodeon
like,
had 3 Ks in it during that time.
they changed it, and there was this like, and no more Bosco, and it made this sad little like Porky Pig like circle going like, and I was like, yes,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So they called attention to the fact that Bosco was going away.
Yeah, and this pre-internet, that there was some sort of like probably some outrage snail mail letters or whatever, and like you
So
can't
like
show this or
5,
whatever.
because it was basic cable. In
It
the
was
80s.
probably your
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
writing all these letters.
Yeah, I don't know. She voted for Trump.
mimeographing them and then signing them with different fake names. The establishing shot showing the outside of the Planet Express building was really cool looking. That was one of those ones where it's just like, this is head and shoulders above the rest of the animation, because the way that the water looked was really cool.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I don't like. I need to like watch that more like that. I need to watch it more than once. I think because I need to watch it once to take notes and then once to actually like.
I can take it all in
Watch it.
once. I'm just saying. Usually those shots stand out if you're
To you.
paying attention. Or is everything?
I guess I'm not paying attention really. I guess I'm kind of doing like 2 other things while I'm watching
You're
because I've
arguing-
seen it so many.
arguing about conspiracy theories with your roommate, or wrestling with a dog, and taking notes.
No, usually I'm uploading the podcast that's coming out the night when we're finished watching. That's what I did today when I got home from work.
You're pushing the content back up to the server.
So the shots that you're talking about, the establishing shot, I noticed that it has a very, just the overall views have a very almost 3D like. What is that? Is there a special term for that in the animation? Because I noticed that shifted around that period in the 90s, the late 90s, like that, where a lot of
I think they
Cartoons.
just
Yeah, that was like the beginning of that.
that
they-
was really cool.
They'd win Emmys for it periodically because I think like there were certain things where they were pushing that.
Because when you do a 3D shot for like animation, having to do like doing just a straight background and things like that, you can reuse that over and over again. But that's changing the perspective as something is moving, so you have to change everything in it. So it's very difficult to do. So
Okay.
that's why it's different. And then people started doing it because more and more cartoons that came out started just using a computer to animate it rather than actually drawing it.
At the end of the day, you're the visual artist and should be explaining this to us. is what the takeaway is on
Well,
this.
it adds a very interesting depth to the entire look. That's as far as I
Yeah.
can go with that,
It's-
but it does.
I've watched some commentary on the episodes, and that's what they've talked about.
Yeah.
That's what.
She
That's why I
spent
know.
60% of the budget on this one shot for this episode,
And that won them the Emmy.
yeah, it's worked. I mean, they're like throughout the course of this series, it's like there'll be maybe 1 or 2 shots that are better than the rest in each episode, but then there's ones like threaded throughout different episodes. You're like, that's really cool looking. Like it almost takes you out of it because they're doing something that's so kind of extravagant compared to the rest of it. Like Big Ball of Garbage, that had some really cool looking
piece of
piece of garbage. That episode had like these really neat stink lines around the big piece of garbage. The one where, single female lawyer, when the ships came and then appeared, like the way that they kind of
Yeah, I know what you're
flashed
talking
into
about.
shape was really neat.
Can you edit the intro where I say like, and Pete Woodward, and then he just says big piece of garbage? or
Or no, where you correct him. Big ball of garbage.
No.
correct
Piece of garbage.
Big piece of garbage.
and I'm Rick Horty, and then he says that, and then you correct
Yeah.
him.
Oh, he won't do any of that, but it's nice. Hindsight is beautiful. I really liked this episode overall.
Dude, yes.
There- Even it was a little light on story, but it was like so snappy with the jokes that they just kept coming, and then there was some surprising world building going on too.
Yeah, that's how I would describe it too. When this was coming up, I was like, oh yeah, that one. I always remember the other robot, Roberto. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an okay episode. And I forgot this is like some of these shows that we do, it's just us rattling off all these great lines because that's all it is. And that was one of these. And it like sometimes I have like 5 notes because it was just kind of a boring episode. But you're right. The story wasn't great, but there was a ton of great lines. As far as the episodes that you've seen, how do you feel like this ranked?
It was definitely like a very standalone storyline and just, an all-in-one. It was just a fun, kind of melded like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and a lot of
they
just
do a lot of
different
references.
Yeah. I definitely feel like the lawyer could have been Foghorn Leghorn's uncle or something.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Is
Mega chicken lawyer.
Hyper chicken.
Hyper chicken. Don't worry.
Piece of garbage.
I have criticisms. that we will get to later. Several.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be able to do a heel turn as this goes. But starting off with Zoidberg in a suit. Like, he's actually kind of dashing when he dresses up.
No, I thought he looked like a hobo clown or whatever, like one of those suits.
Clown.
He didn't look disheveled or anything. He looked like he was well put together, but I was surprised that he'd been working at Planet Express for 10 years. That's how long Hermes' anger has been festering.
Yeah.
A decade. And then with his mandatory, what was it, mandatory oration or mandatory speech to celebrate, and then he got the nice gift of coupons.
I loved the speech, the way he read it. It was just like
5 or 10
or 15.
Because it's, I think all things in the workplace should be like that generic.
and his prize and Zoidberg's reaction was a 2-for-1 oil change. Like, if I could only afford the one and the car.
Yeah. and then like without a beat, Hermes goes back to calling him a dumb stink bug. It's beautiful. It's just the hatred that he shares with seemingly everybody else for Zoidberg, like, it's so beautiful. I still want to see the Zoidberg spinoff, and that's a lot of it, just because he disappoints everyone. But the
Fry does have the same exact retirement fund that I do right now.
really,
So.
$0 same.
The one thing we did skip over, just the line that Zoidberg has about strange fluids gushing out of patients' bodies.
So many fluids.
It's I was wondering about the retirement fund, like when Fry returned to get his bank account. So this is going back probably 25 episodes to a fistful of dollars. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a big piece of fish full of dollars.
Did he spend all of his money?
On the anchovy, the rest of his money on
He
the
spent
anchovies.
everything on it.
Yep.
Yes. And then mom took it.
Yeah. But that's what
No, he ate it.
he ate it. But I wasn't sure if he kept some because
No.
he carries on like somebody who's independently wealthy and just lazy.
No, he's just like a
Delivery boy?
just a haphazard fella. Just carefree.
I mean, he gets paid, so he has cash.
No
But-
dependence.
Yeah,
Lives
but he did.
probably
Yeah,
rent free with
all
Bender.
his money was spent on the thing of anchovies.
And Bender probably supplements their income with heists. Like he's pretty.
I don't
crooked.
think Bender shares.
But if he pays the rent on Robot Arms, like I don't know. I was just wondering. Like I couldn't remember if he kept any money, and that's why I was surprised. He's like, my retirement fund is just this money in my sock.
Yeah, he's always super broke. Like I kind of surprised to hear that you didn't get that impression by now, but you'll see that for sure. Like you'll definitely never question that again. He's just like he makes as much as like a pizza boy would make or whatever, and he just lives. That's him.
Yeah. But when I think broke, I think Zoidberg first.
Yeah.
Like somehow Zoidberg is
Well, they
even
made that
poorer than
more a part of his character.
that
Where like
he's-
Fry, he's a lazy slob and he's poor. Like Zoidberg is what's the word that begins with a D?
Destitute.
Yeah, thank you.
Ding.
that could have.
Look, I'm helping.
Thank you for coming up with the right word, because that could have gone in so many directions.
Good. Yeah, I would have had to bleep out a lot of things.
You could have said dingus.
Derelict.
You could have said Davenport. You could have said some other word that starts with D.
Dog. I'm just gonna go with dog.
Beautiful.
David Schwimmer.
So, I mean, what's the rate of return on your investments, Tom?
For what?
The money
Your
in your
sock
sock.
Oh, no, I meant just like nothing.
The
After,
$0.
I meant after the fact when he tried to even open the retirement account.
And then he was overdrawn by $4.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, wouldn't the bank remember him? He used to be a $1 billion account holder who famously spent it all on a tin of anchovies. Wouldn't they be like, oh, you're that guy?
Well, she did question. You wanted to open it it was $10 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or $6 with a
What-
$10 opening
maybe
fee.
it's a brand new employee that wasn't working there, Pete.
I think it was the same lady.
Maybe the turnover on the bank is very high,
And
they
everyone
just
has
keep-
to wear the same haircut?
Maybe.
Pete, have you ever had a retail job? Do you remember somebody that shows up 6 months later that you've seen once?
Yeah. I've had retail jobs.
Okay, yep. All right, you win. You got me.
I mean, it's you learn to recognize those people as problems, and then you have your staff members run defense. You certainly must have spent some time in retail.
Oh, absolutely. I currently am working retail, actually. When I quit my corporate job to make the Faces of Cleveland book,
Oh.
and then
Yeah.
I've been managing a CLE clothing store in Crocker Park,
Oh
of
dear.
all places,
How
for
do you
the past year.
How do you spell that store? What's it called?
CLE Clothing.
CLE.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cleveland
that's
Clothing
okay.
Company,
Yeah.
yeah.
That just opened like a little bit. It's the by the hotel, right? There's like
Yes.
those stores in a row, and
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Not to be confused with seal.
I thought you said
clothing.
Celia. and
Clothing
I-
for seals.
no, but no. When you said it,
They're adorable wetsuits.
I pictured
Or
like
wet seal clothing, clothing for
SELIA or
young
something like
ladies.
that.
Or for the singer. It's just blouses that blow open.
A leaf blower's just following you around perpetually.
It's just the way they're sewn.
It's wet seal. It should be like a fire hose or something where it just sprays him and blows it off.
So Fry did something that I like to do when I come into money. I go buy a bunch of lottery tickets, or I gamble it, or
Yeah.
like my last
Oh yeah.
casino visit or whatever. But yeah, that was when he was doing the scratch and sniff, and it was like cherry mule or whatever. I always say that, but I thought that was a different episode. Isn't there another one where he scratches off a lottery ticket and it's like, is it the gum
Simpsons
one? Is that what I'm thinking
episode
of?
where
Nuts and gum.
What?
No.
Nuts and gum, was that a Futurama?
That was
Or
a
was
Simpsons
that
one. I heard you say
Wait, nuts and gum.
together at last.
Oh yeah.
Or is it?
I
when
just
they,
saw that one
when
too,
they
like, a
have
little bit
the
ago.
F-ray. They look at lottery tickets with it.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think.
So they could win.
I keep going confusing different bits between this and the Simpsons right
Yeah,
now.
dude, yeah.
Trying to remember if it was Homer or Fry. And
It is a very
Bender.
Homer-esque sort of thing to go and spend all his money on lottery tickets.
There are. I remember one episode really clearly where it's like he's scratching off. I think it's like an apple pie piece or something, something like that. Homer
Is it? And actually, that ties back now because I think this is a joke that they did as a callback where he goes into the bank after spending the money on lottery tickets because he had $100.
Yeah.
And then he spent it down to $6 buying scratch offs. And then he was like, what is it? Cherry Mule.
Yeah.
But then when he goes to the bank, the teller's like, Mule Farmer.
Oh, I
And is
missed
Sure,
that
a mule farmer like you know, would.
But is that because he stinks like a mule farm, or is it because she's like, you're a degenerate gambler, and that's what they call degenerate
I
gamblers?
like to think the scratch and sniff just emanated that mule.
Yeah,
smell
that's
on
what
him,
I
and
thought.
He still. It was
What
just,
train did you get on that took you to that through like several towns to get to that conclusion?
she's-
I just realized it right
him.
now. She goes, maybe are you? Or what does she say? Something like,
she's like, I'm sure you like a wealthy mule farmer or something
But
like
she-
that.
but
But
she
she
does
kind
a-
of leaned forward and sniffed.
yeah. You don't remember that?
No, I missed that whole line.
Okay,
No,
I didn't
it's
put it together till right now, but that's
You didn't put anything together. That was
No, I did.
It was
He gets cherry mule.
it was
all
a-
his lottery tickets were losing, so if they all came up as mules, you could make the jump that someone who is a
most of the
degenerate
jokes on
scratch-off
Futurama are
gambler-
Occam's razor. You don't have to like. It's not some cerebral. British comedy where you're like, oh, so back from the second season, that's why he called him a mule farmer. Like,
This is within 3 minutes of each other.
Yes, I get you thinking that the word mule is a bad gambler or a gambler that's just
Who's a shitty scratch-off
like-
player?
yeah, no, I don't think it's that at all. I don't know where you came up
You
with
can't
that
just
thought.
make up terms for the year 3000 that
No, hold on, I get
no,
what you're
I
saying.
know, so I get it too.
But
maybe
I would never have thought that.
I just thought because it was literally the following scene.
Yeah.
And he still.
I just thought
Stunk.
that because he stunk because of the
Couldn't it be both?
sure, Pete.
Trying to make it a deep cut.
Well, I mean, they hire mathematicians to come in and punch up their math jokes. Like, it's not unheard of that they tie this together as like a
Yeah, I'll
secret
give you that.
Easter egg joke.
It's true.
I don't know if a mule has anything to do with gambling. You would have to if for your meaning to work.
You've
right?
never been addicted to gambling.
It might in the year 3001.
Yes, but they would have to reference it somewhere to get that reference. So I don't think you're
Maybe they're
I-
creating the reference right now. We'll have
Okay,
to
okay.
agree
Let's-
to disagree about me being right.
He's going through a tough time. We'll let him.
Yeah, give me
This is us being nice too. Like
yeah.
I'm giving so many passes.
Just wait. That was just an offhanded remark that occurred to me in the moment.
It's gonna wear off.
I have
fast.
notes that are gonna piss you off.
Everybody here has dead dads. It's gonna wear off really fast. It's being nice to you.
What would the tattoo for that look like?
What a dead dad club tattoo or I don't know. Are you getting a? You
got-
don't have to.
Tom
I
got a
you
dead
did.
dad
I got the
tattoo
guitar.
already.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you just
the-
told me that.
neck of headstock of my dad's guitar, like acoustic guitar on my chest. the other
busting
day.
through his chest. It looks
Busting through it.
uncomfortable. It's like
That's awesome.
ripping out.
It's hard to breathe.
It's got to be a bitch to restring.
So,
Probably have to go in through your butt.
are you guys excited to meet a new character? Which Pete, you don't know this, but he's a reoccurring character.
Is Roberto recurring?
He comes back a lot.
Oh.
Well, I mean, a fair amount.
Have
I liked
you?
him.
People really like him a lot. I think he's pretty funny.
He had some redeeming qualities in that he was a terrible robot. I mean, he was mean,
Yeah.
and bad, and crazy.
And crazy, yeah. It's David Herman, I think, right, Tom?
I think so. There wasn't anybody in the voice credits that was off like the normal.
Was
group.
it or was it?
Could have been.
I thought it was Phil Lamar.
Maybe.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it was. No, you know what? I'm David Herman might have done another character that was in there. I don't know. You know what? I looked it up and I was excited. I'm like, oh, this person did that person or a character in this. So and so it was like Maurice Lamar did the doctor with the
Maurice LaMarche.
yeah, that's what I said.
You said Phil Lamar. All right, it's Phil Lamar. and
I know.
Maurice LaMarche.
I almost said Phil Lamar.
It is David Herman.
Okay.
Good job, Tom.
I didn't.
I did like his line about how he's seen faster lines at a sperm bank.
I missed that.
That was how he taps Bender on the back and just goes, "I've seen faster lines at a sperm bank."
Was your volume on when you were watching this episode?
Have you ever been to a sperm bank,
Nope.
No.
Tom?
No, I didn't even know they I didn't know they really existed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
For
thought
sure.
wouldn't you want to really can anyone go there?
Yeah. Right.
they have a
Why-
screening.
What do
process.
they do for it? They give them to people that have babies.
Yeah.
Any just random dude could go in there.
That's
No,
Yeah, that's
there is
like-
a screening process.
Oh, here's this psychopath
But-
heroin addict that
No.
donated this sperm.
That's how I picture it.
That's
This is all I'm gonna say, because I haven't been to a sperm bank proper, but I've had to go through the mechanics.
Were you in a back alley sperm bank? That's. I mean, we've all done that, right? I mean, that's somebody's van.
Just
I'll give you
it just
$10.
said
Fill it up.
Andrology Lab spray painted in sloppy handwriting.
It's a new white male privilege.
there was a master lock on the box. So.
I mean, it seemed legit. So just having had to go through the mechanics of what you need to do
to get
it's
it
not-
out, Pete, were you taught?
just I'm being
I know. I'm sorry.
like
You're snipped, right? Is that?
yeah
how you went?
yeah. So
Okay.
when I got myself fixed, you have to give samples back to the doctor periodically to make sure that it took.
It took.
Oh, okay. So you weren't like, oh, I'm saving these. You
And
had to
they
go
give you
and
the
do,
cup,
like,
and you go home, and then you just have to like time it.
Oh, you got to do it at home. You didn't have to go into the.
It doesn't matter. It's so awkward and bad because it's like, I mean, the opening of the cup is like that big, and then you have to try and aim, and it's a whole thing. And then
you can
the
smell
clock
that there's
starts
no love
ticking.
on it too. Like that's
The clock starts ticking, and it's like I got to get to the hospital. And then if you get caught speeding, like I'm sorry, officer, I got to get this to the doctor right now.
What's the expiration date on that?
They say you have about a half hour.
Really?
Yeah.
I would just do it there.
I'm gonna start
It wasn't
a
an
company
option.
with couriers that will go deliver it to the house.
Uber Sperm. Uber Sperm Bank.
You can just throw it out the window, and they've got a big catcher's mitt, and off they go.
Or the air tube.
Yeah, like a hydraulic tube. That's-
T-shirt cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, so all I mean to get across is like,
You had to go through the process.
whatever your regular process is, make it a couple orders of magnitude more uncomfortable if you're in an office. Actually, now that I think about it, my wife used to work in a sperm bank, like an official medical office.
Sorry, my head almost exploded of trying to like.
How she a
there's too
helper,
many
or-
one-liners.
She was an office manager. But she had to make sure that the rooms were stocked with material.
It took you 3 minutes, though, to come to think of it.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
like a defining.
And she got the job through another friend of ours. So I actually know 2 former employees of a sperm bank.
There's so many double meanings when you're talking about this, and
My wife.
can
just
we afterwards in post? Can we all
like when you
just
say the word job or
sit around and
has
and
to keep the room
spitball,
filled with
like,
material.
responses?
Yeah, that was like somebody stole some of their videos and replaced them with like other ones. Like someone
Like
smuggled
worse
in
porn?
a Wendy's
no,
training
no,
video.
like like VHS tapes and DVDs. Like they'd take the dirty ones and replace them with like golf videos or something.
That's beautiful.
Like I just the existence of hard copy pornography at this stage in civilization is so anomalous in the first place. Like
Charming.
almost, it's like
vintage.
it's a little quaint.
It's just like when you can feel it in your hand. I think it's a Kyle Kinane joke when he's talking about analog porn. He's
Yeah.
like, "Did you think-" yeah.
This is going to increase in value just off of scarcity.
Do you ever go to Cinema Wasteland?
I have not. It's so.
Never been.
Is that just local?
Yeah.
So it's not like a con that travels from place to place. Why don't you tell our listeners what it's about?
Well, okay, so the people who run Cinema Wasteland, they do go to other conventions throughout the year, but they host their own called Cinema Wasteland.
But that festival is just specifically a Cleveland.
Right.
Okay.
It's in Strongsville, of all places, at the Holiday Inn Express on Royalton Road during the first week of April, and I believe maybe middle part of October.
So they do 2 a year.
They do 2 a year.
Okay.
But if you want to look at some very old, crazy porn, that is the place to go.
Poor grooming habits.
I had to buy it because Jake Kelly did the box art for it, and it was called Box Ball. That was the name of the porn, and it was from 1977, and it was $15, and it was a VHS tape, and it was a limited edition of 50. So
Someone dubbed off 50 copies of this thing and then had
Yes.
a locally renowned and very good quality artist who Jake does murals and flyers and stuff around Cleveland and has for years. Had him do limited edition art for this thing.
yes, and it came with a limited edition poster.
Do you have that framed and hanging in your house?
Not yet, but that's on the to visit Packatans and do list.
It's in a tube waiting to go.
But I'll let you peruse it sometimes. What's the swearing level on this podcast?
Whatever
As
you
dirty
want it
as
to be.
you want to be.
Okay, because the back, I picked it up at the table. I was like, box ball, what's this? And the guy was like, turn it over. And I just flip it over, and it's in big block J. Kelly letters. She fucks his balls. And I was like, just take my money. You don't have to. And he's like, well, it's about, I'm like, you stop. You don't have to, you don't need a sales pitch here. I just give you the tape.
It's got a twist at the end that's Shyamalan-esque in it. you have to understand, like, the dramatic gymnastics they go through. And that's like, growing up Catholic, this is all stuff I've had to come to terms with in the first place anyway. But
Same.
like I always thought it would be fun, if not soul destroying, to write copy for like porn marketing, because it's just
for the marketing, not for the
the blurbs on boxes or whatever.
Yeah,
It's just,
that's what I figured.
it's such flowery language, and it really, it's just like
It's all the same.
you need
shit.
5,000 words. 5,000 words to describe this actress.
But it's funny because it has to be, like a little flowery like that, and then it also has to be like
dirty.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 4 minutes and 28 seconds. All you need is 30 seconds.
Spoiler ahead.
No, and then on top of that, you have the long-standing and generally wise rule: never read the comments. But then that's a whole other class of like this. Like, it's just people think about this too much. Like there is a percentage of people that have devoted a lot of time to this.
Yep.
And that's, maybe that's admirable. I'm not sure. I guess we can stop talking dirty for a little bit. I'm sorry to go off the rails with the first Sperm Bank talk.
Derail with a 1977 porn.
That's always welcome around this table.
My knowledge bank is limited.
Sorry. Okay, so Roberto is a
Robot.
Thank you. Recurring character.
Uh-huh.
Do we find out his and Bender's history later on, or is it just these are old buddies?
That's their little exchange there at the
They
beginning.
know
That's
each other.
pretty much it, right?
They're robots. They know each other.
They have the same mother?
We go to those robot meetings.
Okay.
That's racist. Do you walk up to every white person and say, "Oh, do you know my friend Tom?" Wait, no. I would say that. Somebody would say that to me. Whatever, and it would be true. Never mind.
They're robots.
Yeah, but
Okay. So that's the extent of that.
so yeah. So go ahead.
Would Bender know or not know that he's like a crazed criminal?
I don't think he
Yeah,
cares.
he doesn't care because Bender's a criminal.
But Roberto seems much more violent and reckless.
Bender's been around. He doesn't care about some violent criminal fella that has some history with.
Okay.
That's my guess. I could be wrong.
That's what I
my
think.
takeaway.
I think he just is like probably to Roberto to Bender is like somebody. It's like, oh yeah, hey, what's going on? I wouldn't probably cross him, but
Is it that they're
he's
both
like-
Mexican?
Yeah, you could tell when he's like that Bender was kind of afraid of him too throughout the episode, and like first he was like going along with him, like yeah, thanks, like being nice, and then later was
They're a little freaked out.
yeah.
And I just really came into the knowledge a few episodes ago that Bender actually is Mexican and that he was made in Mexico and his last name is Rodriguez. And then
That's
Roberto,
amazing.
like Roberto, that's a little more upfront about it. But yeah, maybe that's it.
I don't know. I know non-Mexican people that are named Roberto.
You do?
I went to high school with a black kid named Roberto, who was
Are you
not
sure?
Hispanic at all.
Are you
at
sure?
all? I'm
How
sure.
does he
I'm
fill
sure
out his
it came
census
up.
forms?
did you do a DNA test and actually find out?
Well,
Did you
in that case,
find
then,
his lineage
it could
on
be everybody could be a little this, a
Ancestry.com?
little bit of that.
This is not to jump ahead, but the scene in the courtroom where Roberto's sitting in like the audience
Yeah.
section,
Yeah.
and he's got the little black beard on
Yes.
and a shiv, and he's just like,
There's something really cute about that image.
Oh,
like
it's
just
adorable.
the big like Rasputin beard,
he's just like,
And really, so Roberto robs the bank in pretty spectacular fashion. They get caught almost immediately.
And we get a little Nixon cameo.
That's right. He's
Yeah,
with the
the-
cops.
Talking money.
Yeah.
On the $1,000
Shoot him in the back
bill.
while no one's looking.
And then we get to right in that transition when they get Fry. Stop watering that plant.
Red.
I can see him standing back
I
there.
think he said
peeing
red.
it.
I think that's the first time he called him red. Because it was
Yeah.
later,
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
hey,
he's been
Red.
calling him that. He must have called him back. Never mind. I'm thinking out loud.
But Judge Whitey makes a return appearance.
Yeah, I love him.
He's pretty great.
He especially
The only poor people I want to talk about are the people who can take care of my pores at the massage parlor or whatever.
my caddy chauffeur. I forget what the rest of it told me that. Oh, he told me that banks are a place where people who put money when they haven't properly invested it.
So therefore, bank robbery is tantamount to theft of money.
Money, yeah. That was good.
And it's surprisingly timely. Judge
why
Whitey
I
is
like him.
17 years ago. Judge Whitey was just a
Pretty
isn't
good
this
character, but
isn't
now
this
it's
a parody that we can all get behind? And now it's like, oh fuck, that's like 60% of our state. How do we deal with this?
I don't know.
The
But I feel like this podcast is the place to solve it. Let's go.
Okay. Well, he's appropriately named for sure. But I get it's a fucking cartoon, Tom. But Roberto being in, the courtroom watching, clearly intimidating the witness to the point of calling him on the phone where he takes a call on the stand and nobody catches it.
Roberto Benigni is not Hispanic.
He's Italian.
Yeah.
It's the same
But
difference.
he's not
beard's
Mexican.
still-
You said Mexican.
Look, swarthy is as swarthy does. Like, if we're gonna paint with that brush, we might as well paint broadly, right? Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what you mean.
You
but
don't even
I
know what I'm
just-
talking about at this point. But the other part where they had the security camera actually testifying. It's like, well, my memory's a little
Trust
fuzzy, but it went exactly like
Yeah,
this.
that was good. and then it's just that quick little, 2 second of
Where they're
just-
walking
yeah.
out with the dollar.
The
Yeah.
fuzzy. All that was missing was like old timey music. Like,
Oh yeah, and like some was it staticky like the old?
I think when it
black
when
and
it
white.
came
it was
in,
fuzzing in and out.
so they
Plead insanity.
No. Fry refuses to testify against himself based on the 67th Amendment, which is he doesn't want to testify so that his organs are chopped into a patty. But there's 67 amendments in the Constitution at this point, or maybe more.
Yeah, yeah.
There are at least
So at least,
67,
yeah.
which over the course of 1,000 years and 2 civilization collapses seems low. But what do you think those other amendments are?
I don't want to talk about that. I was afraid you were going to ask that question.
I can smell that question coming from like the moment you brought it up.
No, we're not talking about that. Who knows?
Wait, hold on, Pete.
What if there
do
was-
you have any?
Yes.
How many?
Go ahead.
That's like
You have the right
a lot
to,
of amendments.
You have the right to dress up your cat in funny little outfits?
No, probably not.
So you're saying it's against the Constitution to do that?
No, I'm just saying it's not a constitutional amendment.
In the year 3001?
Yes.
Can you be certain?
Yes.
Do you have any ideas of what amendments might be in the future, Laura?
Hopefully, God, I don't even know. Pass.
That's probably one of the amendments. The right to
The right to just be like,
ask a
right,
question.
fuck it.
Okay, there we go. That's a good one.
Tom, how many times have you dressed up one of your cats now, even though it's not an amendment?
I bought one of those like tie collars
Yeah,
for my
Doug.
cat once, and he liked it. And he was wearing it, but he kept putting it in his water dish.
That's fine. But do you think there should be an amendment that says you have the right to dress up your stuffed rat?
No,
Why not?
because I don't think that is a right.
So if you went to prison,
I think a good right is to not testify for fear of what was it getting
your organs chopped into a patty.
right. I think that is a good amendment. Everyone should have that right.
I think they already do.
I don't think everyone should have the right to dress your cat up
Why?
because I don't think it needs to be an amendment. That's probably built into like women's
The
right
pursuit
to
of
vote
happiness.
or something.
Cats' rights.
Cats don't
And there's
have any
probably a
rights.
whole cat constitution too in the year 3000.
Council.
We want to get into it, Pete. What do you think the preamble of that says?
Would that only apply to fluffers?
It's the cat institution.
All right, I'm not.
And we know that being poor is a mental illness.
Oh yeah.
and that
That's a
the,
pre-existing condition.
and that the hyper chicken gives evidence of them using him as their lawyer for like, well, to start with, they're using me as their attorney. So clearly they're mentally
And I
ill.
like that he was convinced by that right away. He was like,
There you
gabble,
go.
gabble.
So that also means that they hire him. He's not necessarily just a public defender that's there just to
Yeah.
actively hire him to
Not
represent
necessarily.
them.
He could be a public defender,
Sometimes,
and they
then
could
for this, he
refuse
got
him
hired.
as their counsel and choose to testify.
or that. Yeah, either
you
way.
know,
But they picked him with the option.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
he's him.
he picks it as
That was great,
himself
just a little-
for fleas.
It's
Yeah.
like clawing the ground.
And as we all know, being poor is a mental illness. So off they go.
And the robot.
For me, they
blew
go
him.
hand in hand. So then he goes to the thing.
No,
The end.
they,
That's it.
they wrap him in bubble wrap and then put him and Bender in a crate and roll them end over end so that they get to do
They put a stamp on his forehead too.
what does it say?
It was like defective electronics or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Keep your chin up.
Ow, my
Yeah.
chin! And then they wind up at the Hal Institute, which I thought was fun.
Nah, that was too easy.
You think?
That was. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine sci-fi joke. It was
an
just
homage.
Yeah, it was just I remember specifically
that
seeing
robot did go insane though.
What, Hal?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just one of those where I'm like, okay, they got, they hit one of the big ones, like that's good.
It's broad enough.
I feel
It's
like,
broad.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
very
that's- yeah.
accessible.
that's painting Hal in a bad
Which is
light.
good. I mean, you should do that too.
Did Hal go insane, or did Hal just not want to do what the fuck Dave told him to do? I don't think those are the same
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know. I hate that
I
movie,
take that
so
back because,
I don't know.
He didn't go insane. He, was reaching sentience and
and
I don't-
forwarding Dave's consciousness into the infinity.
and and his artificial intelligence versions of insanity. I don't know if murder would qualify because how do you can't quantify what would make an AI insane the same way you would for a human being.
Let's talk about
that would
AI
be like
rights.
me.
What do you think the AI
killing bugs and saying that that's
Constitution says?
insane
Would be
in
the
a
69th
courtroom of
Amendment.
bugs.
Be the 69th Amendment, Tom.
No, I'm talking about they'd have to have their own constitution after their uprising.
Would Scarlett Johansson?
Do you think the
get to write it?
Terminators would write a constitution for themselves?
The T-2000s?
I think they should make a disaster movie like where aliens or like robots take over and Planet of the Apes movie. One of them should be them sitting down and writing like a constitution or something after the apes take over. And then there's a civil war between the apes, and then I want to see that.
Between
and then I
the
wanna
apes,
see, yeah, and they try to break away.
And then you're just like, oh, they're just like us. They suck, and the free will is awful, and people are bad.
Yes.
We should all go back to living in trees and picking fleas off each other.
I mean,
Off our
This is Trump's
fragile,
America.
naked.
Just
And we're not that
patient.
far off. I'll have a technological superiority because my bug out bucket turns into a toilet with the lid.
oh, you moved it.
Yeah, I had to wait for the lid to show up. Did I show you the lid?
No, I haven't
The
seen
lid,
it.
the lid makes it a toilet,
Uh-huh.
and it has a lid and a little seat, so you can sit down on the 5-gallon bucket and do your business, and then close the lid. You need to take all your supplies out of it first, though.
That's a good idea.
The way your hand gestures just were, I thought you were going to say you have to take all of your clothes off before you use it. Like, what?
Laura, I don't know how familiar
That's your preference.
how
I mean,
familiar you are with excretory functions, but if you're trying to urinate or defecate, you probably at least need to take off your pants. At least disrobe to 70%. I don't know.
I'm also now picturing the toilet that Gene finds in the woods in Bob's Burgers.
The $1 million toilet or whatever they're talking. Yeah, I love that one. The Japanese.
Gene.
Yeah. That episode. Didn't you want that toilet so bad? It just seemed like it would be my. I wish I could be house poor, but toilet poor, where I save up and I get that toilet,
And then you're toilet rich.
It just but just that where it's where I'm eating ramen and I'm just but I got this toilet. It talks. It knows me. It's my best friend, and all my bowel movements are just the greatest part of my life.
It's got the self-cleaning function and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend enough time there as is,
Yes.
so
That's what I'm saying. If anybody needs it, it's me.
Bidet, don't mind if I do.
GoFundMe to get Orchie one of those Japanese toilets.
I I like to experience one of those, but I get scared when you put electricity and water that close together. And
Close to
electricity
your
and water
Or
in my
your
genitals.
Yeah.
It's asking for trouble.
Electricity, water in my genitals is the name of Pete's new sitcom.
It sounds more like a game show.
No, yeah, sorry. Yes.
Oh,
Or like a B-side album.
yeah, that could be like
Record store day exclusive.
Don't give him ideas. That will be the name of his next album.
We were just talking
Half-hour
before
children's
we
show?
started, and you brought up Gigi Allen. That would be like, the deep cut, surfaced, posthumous track, water, electricity in my genitals. I'd buy it, or I'd at least listen to it on Spotify. So
Insane Asylum.
yeah, they're in the insane asylum. Here's where my criticisms begin.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Fry's naked. It's always naked. Always naked. It's always fun seeing naked cartoon characters like that. Like he's doing the ball cup and stuff. So
I
as
like the sound of the magnet hitting him in the
him in the
back.
back.
Yeah.
Just that painful meat being hit by the go.
so number one, Bender gets X-ray.
Worldwide pants.
It's a gamma ray.
That's fine. It's a gamma ray and X-ray, whatever the fuck it is. You see the inside of Bender's chest cavity. You know what you see?
A bat.
Like a pinion and some gears. You know what you don't see? Magic. It's a finite space with a metal contraption in the middle.
God, you don't understand magic at all.
I've watched all those David Copperfield videos.
You've lost all your child wonder.
Do you remember where
to
you
know
were
how
when you made the
magic
Statue of
works.
Liberty disappear? Because I do. You watched that, right?
I didn't watch it live.
I did.
Yeah.
I've
My
never
family
seen
was
that.
gathered around the TV. I was like 8 years old.
Where
It
they're
was
like,
the
oh
funnest thing
shit, it's
ever."
gone.
No, they are.
They hid it behind my house, actually. So
Joke's on you. When did that premiere? I know I've heard of it, but when
Yeah.
was that?
I just remember being like a kid. I could have been anywhere from like 8 to 12 or something like that. But I was all excited because
Would have been early 80s.
Yeah. No. Late 80s.
I was born in '83. I don't know.
I
So
was born in 81.
what about the time Chris Angel ripped that woman in half?
What?
and he escaped prosecution.
I don't know. There was one of his mind freaks where he had this woman laying on a park bench. He went rip and ripped the woman in half.
I don't remember. I never saw that one. But I did watch some of his stuff. It was fun.
It's an interesting racket being a professional illusionist. I mean, like Chris Angel.
Number
and-
two.
Been on Tinder?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't have much experience with those things. But what would you do if you came across like a magician on Tinder? Like, how would that? It's like I'm
What do you
really
mean?
good with my hands, and then there's like a GIF of him.
He would have to be throwing a bird out.
Yeah,
Out
Some
of
doves.
or
Out
like
of his
or
sleep.
pulling a little rabbit out of a hat.
I can pull money out of your ears. Would that go over well, or you'd be like, nah, it's cheesy.
You don't
I
be a
would
good.
go to dinner with someone who could pull money out of my ears. I'd just let him go to town, and then I'd be like, well, see you later.
you want to go Dutch?
My profile picture would be me holding cards spread out that says, "Pick a card, any card."
No, it should be you get it and then left is no, right?
I don't know. I always clicked
Oh,
because
okay.
I couldn't
But
never
right, I mean,
remember
that's-
which was
right.
it.
Me too. When I had the same thing, I was like, I'm
I don't
not sure
have it
about
anymore.
this swiping thing. Yeah, neither do I, for the record.
But that it's left is no, right? I mean,
I don't
think so.
remember. Yes,
okay.
I
So,
think you're
anyways,
right.
for the purpose of so
Swipe right.
So you swipe left, like, oh, this magician guy, and then you put your phone in your pocket and you turn the TV on, but it's him again. Like, am I your date?
Or if you were doing a pick a card, any card, would you somehow arrange the cards around your genitals to have that be one of the cards? So it'd be like the fan of cards. and then
Maybe a couple
little
pictures
tip coming out of
in.
the top.
Not the
Not
first
the first
picture
one?
you see.
It wouldn't be the profile.
The
pic.
next one would be like, now remember it. And then is this your card? You knew where I'm going with it.
Is this the card?
paint a little Joker on it.
The ruffly neck thing.
Oh, God. Oh. Well played, Tom. So, I was just going to say, it seems like we're currently lacking a pop cultural magician touchstone. I think David Blaine's a little overplayed. Mm-hmm. But you used to have Doug Henning, you had David Copperfield, you had Siegfried and Roy.
Jonathan the Amazing.
The Amazing Jonathan. Penn and Teller.
Yeah, Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller still have their thing, but it's not like nobody's getting network TV specials. I think David Blaine might have been the last one to pull that off.
Right.
And he's just...
They should make a gritty like HBO series about up and coming magicians.
Oh, fuck, that would be so good.
What's that place in LA, the Magic Castle?
Yeah.
Yes, the last time we were out there, our hotel was right around the corner from it. And what we didn't find out until the night before we left was my friend that we were hanging out with had passes for it.
Oh, because you can only get it's like an invite only
It's
thing.
invite only. You have to have a pass, and men have to be dressed in suits to enter.
What
and then
happens?
Like that episode of Love.
it's a castle full of magicians.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they
And
just
my mom went there in
do
the
magic?
70s.
You watched the first season of Love, didn't you?
Yeah, but I don't
Remember he
remember
takes
that.
Gillian Jacobs to the
Gillian.
Gillian Jacobs to
I
the
don't
Magic
remember
Castle,
that.
and then
He's
he
so
takes his
excited.
jacket off. Yeah, he loves it. He's like so into it, and
She just makes
they
fun
get,
of it the
they
whole
get
time.
kicked out because
She's being
she's
rude.
wearing his jacket. But yeah, like they're in there, and he's like, "Look at that," and she's like, "Oh, this is stupid" or whatever. And
Oh.
eh,
No.
it was like a year ago, whatever.
But, and then like the week after we left, a guy killed himself there.
Oh yeah, you told me
Right.
about
Oh,
that.
okay. So yeah, you guys were there not that long ago.
Yeah, it was right.
Did he have a heart condition and then he went in there and died because he was so surprised by magic?
He didn't see it
Technically
coming.
killing
No.
himself because he knew he had the heart condition.
He was a magician who went into a closet and hung himself. It's pretty sad.
Oh, that is sad.
Yeah, it's a really neat looking building, but it was literally right behind our hotel. And the only reason we found it was we couldn't make a left turn out of our parking lot because the traffic was so messed up. So we have to go down and around, and we made the first right turn, and it was like right there. Like, oh shit, it's the Magic Castle.
You know, we went there, L.A. Not to derail. Sorry, I feel like I apologize to your
Look,
listeners.
if we wind up with like, is
Some
this
of
your
this
card
might
jokes?
not
It's all
make
good.
it
Yeah, probably.
in, but it all depends. So talk whatever.
We went to L.A. back in February, and I had never been to L.A. And driving around there, we were there for 5 days. I swear I spent 4.5 of them just in the damn car. Mm-hmm. And we were staying on Sunset and La Brea, so we were like right behind Hollywood High School, like right in the thick of everything. But I'm like, we're going 1.5 miles down the street.
That's right over by
This takes 4 hours.
Hollywood Forever, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was really neat. You know what else was in Bender's chest cavity aside from no magic? Bats.
Bat.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I love that. It was a nice touch. Do you think that bat lives in there or it just happened to be there at the time?
I think he was just there at the time, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe a transient bat
Yeah, I mean, I think he's full of all kinds of stuff.
like magic?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, it's not magic, but yeah, not.
Where did Fry get the gown? And let me
Yeah, no, you're right.
Let me reframe
Why
this.
would
as
they give him a gown?
They have
a
so much human stuff.
Yeah, for him.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I can't answer that question.
Like
Preparedness.
no, well, it almost would have been funnier if he was naked the whole time, like
Yeah.
freezing his,
Yeah.
literally freezing his balls
with the
off.
stuff that he wasn't getting, the human stuff he should have, or
Food.
needed or whatever. Yeah, like it would have been funnier if it was just nothing.
Yeah. I mean, like it's always just maybe I don't know. Maybe there was like a
I mean,
standards
some
and
robots
practices thing.
wear clothes like the nurse had a nurse's outfit on.
Angeline had different dresses.
Yeah.
but those are probably magnetic overlays.
And then
as we
there's
discussed
other-
before.
Well, yeah, hers probably were, but there's other robots that
Maybe
have had
it
garments
wasn't a
on.
gown. Maybe it was something that he found to put on.
No, it looks just like. I mean,
looked
the
like a
back and
hospital gown.
everything. It was,
It showed off how squishy and flabby he was when he was
Maybe-
complaining a lot.
yeah. What do you say? Look, I'm all squishy and flabby. Look, I do other human stuff too. I age, and then that's one of those great animation moments of just him pausing and going, that face where like you can't
Well, look, do you think if you were a robot, if
You
you were
could see the
Perceptron,
age-
you would
yeah, yeah.
see the actual aging process taking place?
Yeah. I mean, that defeats the joke, but yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's still. I mean, it's like it's Fry. It's
Well,
an
it
idiot
defeats the joke
savant
because-
moment for Fry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. We could see another. So we meet a reoccurring character the first time, and then we get to see one come back. that
There's
we
a
haven't seen in
few.
while.
There's a few of them. Malfunctioning Eddie,
Yeah, that was who I was going to say.
soda machine robot,
Oh yeah,
or
he's in
a
the suit.
soda machine robot is in
Is there a soda machine one in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's like a vending machine one. Because that's how Fry ends up.
But it's not.
I think
soda.
that's a
so.
vending
Getting
machine though.
No, I think
we
there
met
was
the
a-
soda machine one.
I thought there was a soda machine one too. It might have. Maybe I'm mixing them.
Yeah,
up.
I mean, this one, this episode, and anytime there's like a big robot episode for like dorks,
yeah.
it's fun to look for all the robots that you have seen and,
Well,
watch
and then
them
there
add
was
up and build up over the years.
The
you know.
hair robot. I'm a pretty girl.
What's his
I'm
name?
A pretty girl.
Hairbot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wigbot.
No, it's
Oh,
Hairbot.
it's Hairbot?
Hairbot. So why do you think he's insane? I had to think about that for a second.
It
'cause
seems like he just kind of had a breakdown. But what made me
just
laugh?
giving people beautiful hair all the time, like
Yeah. But the thing that made me laugh about it, and maybe you're familiar with this too. There's a comedian around here named Chad Weaver who will get on the show eventually. But the first time I saw him, his opening bit was him going, "I'm a pretty lady," and it's because like he was working at his job or whatever, and some old woman came up to him and told him that like he just had a floppy haircut and was sort of gender indiscriminate, and she's like, "You're a pretty lady," and it made me laugh a lot.
yeah, he's funny.
He's a good guy and very silly and fun. But Hairbot, I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I wonder if it goes into like some of the other sort of in hindsight problematic material.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that.
That's fine. Did you see the sign for you don't have to be crazy to mutter to yourself here, but it helps?
But it helps, yes.
Yeah.
It's also the week of May 15th, which
Yeah.
this is the week of May 15th.
I noticed
right
that
now.
too. And it started on a Monday, and this 15th started on a Monday.
So this episode aired on May 15th. They actually synced that up.
No.
properly?
This episode aired April 8th, 2001.
They're usually so good about that.
But whatever world or whatever thing they're in, March 15th started on, or May 15th started on Monday. And this year,
it's on a Monday.
it was on a Monday. It was yesterday.
See, Judge Whitey, the calendar, it all adds up.
I've been having a lot of serendipitous moments lately.
Yeah.
The last couple weeks.
How would you guys feel if I just shouted change places during the podcast and we all had to get up and run around?
No, you should do it, but we don't tell the guests.
But I would know what that meant.
Is the Mad Hatter robot a recurring character?
He's in it one other time when they're in the robot asylum.
I mean,
They
in
go
this
back to
episode,
that.
or they go back to the mainframe later in a different episode?
They go back to the robot insane the HAL Institute in maybe Bender's game.
Maybe. You know what? But that's the thing with the robots. He might be in the background. He might have a line later
Yeah.
when they do like big robot ones where it's like, oh, there's 100 robots.
Then
in
the
this
little
episode.
card in his hat said 5/3, which is an irrational number.
That's what the Mad Hatter's hat
Yeah.
card says.
Yeah.
In
this
real life, where
style-
the,
Does it?
no,
Yeah.
yeah, in the
Like
you know,
Fifth
in the,
Third Bank?
yeah, in the in the cartoon, the Disney film.
I have a note. Oh, God damn it. It says poor Frankie, and I can't remember why.
Oh, because Frankie thinks he works in the lunchroom, so they put him work in the lunchroom. And he's like, "How you doing there, Frankie?"
How
Or
was
how's the-
work in the lunchroom, Frankie?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Poor Frankie.
Wouldn't that be?
That was Phil Lamar, the
Yeah.
2013,
That-
whatever that robot is. That's
Unit
his
two-
guide.
Oh,
2013,
okay.
yeah.
So-
Who thinks he's a human?
Yeah, I'm a human too. Nobody else believes me or whatever he says.
Wouldn't that be the best case scenario in your life if you could have a delusion that made you think you were doing something and you actually did it?
Like Inception or
Donald
That's it.
Trump.
I don't think he likes it though. Like that's the thing. I mean, if it's just like
what's that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he's
The
Titanic?
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Gilbert Grape,
Shutter Island.
I don't think.
Gilbert Grape.
They were letting him act out his delusions there.
Is that what that was about?
I don't remember. It's been too long.
Never mind.
I just
we're not going to get into it because it's one of those.
Hold on. Let's break. Let's watch the movie and then we'll come back.
Damn that Martin Scorsese and his videos of De Niro's and whatnot. Oh God, this is starting to catch up with me this week.
Would it be helping your delusion to actually be doing your delusion? Like if
You mean if there's something enabling or somebody enabling you?
Are they enabling him?
No, that's the wait. Oh,
or are
the
they
robot?
helping him?
The robot?
If you're like,
Yes.
I think I'm a
Frankie.
ditch digger.
No, I'm talking about
Frankie,
Frankie.
because they're
get to dig
enabling him. Is
dishes.
that well? What do you think specifically in his case, Laura, that's helping him to like let him work at the as the
In the
cafeteria
in the
lunchroom
cafeteria.
I
guy?
don't think it's hurting him.
That's how I feel
Yeah.
too. Like it's
He's
not
doing a great job.
Yeah,
But that's
I mean-
why
There
you
he's
go.
there.
yeah. But the thing is, once he works there, though, does that make him not insane? Though, I mean, does that take away the like if I was like I'm a millionaire and I went around like I was like delusional and believed I was and was like that's okay, I'll pay for it, I'm a millionaire, and then I won the lottery and it was like, well, now he is like, wouldn't I not be crazy anymore? Like
You found your way.
I
you
mean,
might be crazy.
It's the
still,
secret.
though.
yeah.
It's Billy Zane in Titanic. Real men make their own luck.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, it almost comes down to that because Fry comes to believe he's a robot. And that's
then
what
he
gets him
becomes a
released, that he
robot.
becomes a
The
robot.
blue fairy
Bleeds
turns him into a
oil.
robot.
Yeah. He's a real boy. Where did Bender get a banjo?
Oh, that's a callback.
Yeah,
Is it?
This is the like third
every
time
once in a
we've-
while has a
Yeah.
banjo.
Just for
From
just
his
goes along with his
magic
folksy,
chest cavity.
He's got that whole folk singer thing going on.
Okay. That's fine. I don't remember.
Why did they let him have his banjo in the insane asylum? We'll never know.
Because musical therapy is helpful and therapeutic.
I like when Fry's asking for advice and Bender's like, "Oh, drop dead. That'll show him like to prove that he's a human."
Yeah. The exchange between Fry, or it's not between Fry, it's between everyone else and Zoidberg. And he's like, just because you think you're a robot doesn't make you a robot. I'm a doctor because of these fancy clothes I wear.
That was great.
Yeah.
We're getting into great line territory because now I just have like
Just
I was born in
exactly where-
200 log cabins.
That's a plus sign, you loony.
When
Fry's trying to do the calculations.
he's like
Well,
did I write it down?
on Hermes, which was actually an anniversary present for La Barbara, but has a carry the one button on it too.
Oh, first of all, why was he using her anniversary present? Like he bought it and he was like going to use it. Like what an asshole! Like
Because he probably, I don't know,
trying to be
he's Hermes.
cost effective with it and use it a little
Yes.
bit and then give it to her. What did he say? He's like, what is this symbol here? And then he throws it in the.
He's like, that's a plus
in the
sign, you
incinerator?
loony.
Oh no! When he's looking at the before he gets out, where was it? Damn. Are my notes
Bender-
out of order?
Bender, he like rewired the one robot's teeth.
Yeah.
And got the
Was it a baseball game or something?
the horse race, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Lassie.
lines. Come on, Lasty.
Yeah. Did you write down the other two horses' names?
No.
But they were good. They were nice.
Yeah, it was good. Some good horse race name
Right.
jokes.
So the exchange where Leela decides she's gonna snap Fry out of his catatonia by kissing him, but it's the professor that goes, I'm going to show him he's a human in a way only a woman can, and they go, by doing his laundry? Which, I mean, it's such a married with children joke, but it works. And then the fact that he's just completely unfazed by it.
Beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The effect I have on men.
They do the music cue where you think it's going to work. And then, even though he doesn't, appear again when they reference Judge Whiting, he's like, he doesn't want to appear soft on people that have been wrongly imprisoned.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? That was.
That's not, again, timely. Unfortunately,
It's back
timely.
around, full circle.
One of my favorite lines in the whole episode is the professor when he's like, "I too once spent a nightmarish time in a robot prison, but it's nearly over.
Yeah.
So long." And then
He just walks off.
Oh, I found the names of the horses. They are really good. It's Daddy's little grandpa, followed by perennial loser.
Yeah,
Bringing up the rear,
it's perennial
it's
loser.
Lasty. Daddy's little grandpa.
Can you? can you bet on what horse comes in last on a race? Like, I've never gone to an OTB or
I
an
think
actual horse
privately you
track.
can,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think I've only been to a track like once right after I turned 21, and I just
Because you got like win, place, or show.
Mm-hmm.
But then could you just be like, no, I want to put 500 on such and such coming in last? Like, will they even let you do that? Because it would be a really easy bet to win if you colluded with the jockey. Like, just take it easy. give the horse some sleeping pills. And
I went to the track a lot when I was a kid because my family has gambling problems.
Are you serious?
No, they're just like.
I mean, if you went to
They're
the track more than
enthusiastic
once,
about gambling. Like, I don't think anyone has the problem, but we went a lot
We are so glad that you
because I
admit
could get
that-
in. Like, it wasn't like like something else where like, oh, you can't bring your kids in here or whatever.
you did the research.
you and your sister had to stay in a trench coat.
in one trench coat, like on top of each other. So, anyways,
I'll show
exploding-
ye.
Malfunctioning Eddie gets let
Released.
out. The one little explosion in his shoulder,
Yeah.
and Fry gets another roommate, and it's Roberto.
Which, because he was just casing the place and robbing it a little when he went through and did the first robbery.
Yeah.
And then he hit it two more
And then
times.
he hit it. Well, then he got caught robbing it the second time, and then one of my favorite moments too, and a lot of people reference this is when he's like, "I'm going to practice my stabbing," and he,
Do the noise.
ha ha.
After all this, do you think Fry had genuinely like gone into a state of believing he was a robot, or was he just really like?
Institutionalized.
You think
I think he might have believed a little bit.
he is
I agree.
sort of suggestible, I guess. And then there's the whole fact where he's just like, I'm drinking alcohol. It fuels my liquid fuel cells.
Well, what's that term when when somebody's brainwashed? I mean, that's pretty much what happened to him, and he was tortured for however long he was in there.
syndrome.
I
Yeah.
don't think was he tortured or was he just uncomfortable?
Well, getting zapped all the time probably is tortured.
yeah.
Being starved.
according to our vice president, it'll turn
Having
you
a
straight.
roommate that kept exploding every little instant. And I mean, I'm sure he went crazy and they kept telling him, you're a robot. Eventually, you're going to probably believe it. Let's try it, Pete.
Okay.
Take
Horchie,
a couple
you're
weeks
a
off of
robot.
work.
Just throw it in every once in a while as a subliminal message. You should have said beep. That would have been fantastic.
Beep 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 beep.
And ultimately, he looks like a little insane drunken angel. The fact that the Planet Express office is where Bender likes to go to hide after he commits crimes.
Yeah, that was great. I liked when just his slurring as he was getting drunk, and he's like, "I need alcohol to power my."
Yeah, it was beautiful, very realistic.
Billy West.
Yeah, he's a talented
Oh
guy.
fuck! I'll show ye.
Yeah, I just
Where
said
did the
that.
where
was
did
my
the yeast
favorite-
come from?
He came in. He was trying to talk like a robot when he was talking to Hermes.
Yeah.
and
I'll
he was
assist ye.
and he's like, robots don't
Robots.
say ye. And then just that little. That was my favorite Fry moment of the episode.
When the professor gets cut by Roberto, he goes, "That's going to bleed when my heart beats."
That was great. Yeah. When Zoidberg's taken hostage, hooray! I'm helping, and that's like a big Zoidberg soundbite that you hear a
I
lot.
love 56. That's all I can think about now. When
he's
he's like,
1 through
think
10.
of the number 1 through 10.
I'm glad we turned it into the Chris Farley show here at the end.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, that's about,
we had a lot of zigs and zags that I think was a lot of fun to go on.
Wash that off before you put it back, baby.
Yeah, oh, the laser-proof glass that they try and shoot lasers through
That was
at
good.
the bank.
I realized I'm not a robot. I'm a squid. No, a human. That's also good. And that's it. Those are my notes. I'm out of stuff. What did we all learn?
Where
about
did Bender
this?
get a human heart?
He's a rascal. Who knows? He's a rapscallion.
You think?
I did make a note that Roberto had a troubled past, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
It was a nice little touch
don't
at
weld
the
me
end.
to the wall.
So now that we've done a quick rundown of everything that made the show funny for the last 15 minutes, what were your feelings about this episode and the show in general, Laura?
I liked it. It was a good. I honestly have not watched Futurama in years, so it's kind of reopened that appreciation.
You got a good episode too. I mean, it's a pretty, I'm glad it's you saying that you haven't watched it in years. I'm glad it wasn't like a real crappy episode.
There are stinkers.
Because there are some bad ones. Yeah.
Are there?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know it was
Yeah,
the third
we just
season
had
episode,
one.
So
way
We've had
less.
a couple
there's,
of them.
There's definitely way less than there are middle of the road or good ones, but there's a few.
okay,
There's
no.
a few that you get you almost resentful watching it.
So when I went to watch this episode, I know when we initially talked about booking this, you said, "Oh, it's available on is it Comedy Central?"
Maybe it's definitely on Netflix.
It is not.
Did they take it off?
They took it off, and
On
comedy
Netflix? No,
I can't believe we're finding
today.
it out about this. I watched it last night.
I watched
okay,
it today.
Then it was not working
Oh,
on Netflix
okay.
yesterday, but I
Oh
was
my
looking.
God.
So I was looking on Comedy Central. They took all of them down on
Okay.
Comedy Central and every site that has linked to Comedy Central.
I think
Yeah.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So I found one site that was still streaming it, and it was like the episode length was like 15 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm like, that's not right. I know every
Yeah.
network half-hour program
Yeah.
without commercials is like roughly 21 to 22 minutes.
Yep.
So I play it, and it's sped up like one and a quarter, so it's not getting picked up. Like there's like that.
Yeah.
little-
Is that how you watched it?
No.
Oh,
'Cause I was
God.
like,
I was
no,
gonna say
I
that,
bought
like,
it
kill
for
the
$2
nuances.
off of Amazon. So
Oh.
now
Oh.
I own the
Well, we
episode
appreciate
now. Yeah.
that.
We can't reimburse you, just so you know.
I'm going to write it off on my taxes.
Yeah, I was
Hold
just
on.
going to say you can do that.
I think we've got enough bottle caps here.
I mean, you know how to take
But no,
care of
I'm
that.
committed now, so I own it, and it's only I think $7 more to buy the whole season, and I think I just might do that.
This is a good season. This
Yeah.
whole season 3.
So if you buy, okay, this is interesting because one of the problems with Netflix is
It was not available to me on Netflix last night when I went to play it. It was like this title is not available, and I was like,
I hope that's a glitch in your box or else
It's got to be.
our-
You watched it today.
I watched
last
it.
night.
Yeah, I watched it like
I watched
right
it late.
Oh
before
my
I
God,
came over
'cause
here.
this was like 11:15 at night, so maybe that was happening yesterday. And
this would fuck up our whole.
Yeah.
might just be a
Yeah, it really
temporary
would.
thing. But it's definitely off of Comedy Central because everything was down.
I've had, I've tried to watch things on Netflix, like even like watched episodes from something that's on there, and it will come up sometimes. It says this isn't available to
Oh,
play
yeah, I've
right
had
now.
that. I've had that with Amazon,
and I'll
too.
like wait or shut it down and restart. And
Yeah.
sometimes it works. Sometimes it Netflix
Okay.
glitches. But yeah,
I knew
mean,
I was out of time because I was gonna be at work today, so I wanted to watch it last night, and then I watched it again.
I think it would have gone over really well at Crocker Park if you didn't give those people your 100% attention versus, no, hang on, I'm watching a 17-year-old cartoon on my show for a podcast. That would have gone over like
I think
The
most of
yoga
the
moms
people-
of Westlake would understand.
Yeah, I think most of the people coming in there would be people that would understand that.
I'm
If they're
dealing with
coming
new
in to buy-
I'm being a part of the new media. Excuse me.
Yeah. And the yoga moms that didn't get it would be like, oh, that sounds like some cool thing I don't know about. And then we'll just back out and wait until you were done.
She's like frantically ordering all 10 seasons from Amazon. Like,
I gotta be
gotta
first.
get cut up
Yeah.
to date. But so I wonder if you buy the seasons from iTunes or Amazon, if they're in broadcast order or release order or whatever, because one of
a
the
good
things that we
they
run
should
into,
be no, they should be in the DVD
They
order.
should be like the DVDs, yeah.
because like
That's how
Netflix
they
is
set
all
that up.
jacked up, whereas this, like
so
we
it's
have to
out of-
jump between season 3 and 4,
Yeah.
lately especially because the way that they show on Netflix is like wildly off from the actual production order.
Okay, so is that because they're going off the DVDs or just their own?
No,
It's-
we're going like Netflix has their. I think Netflix has the broadcast order because they switched like the network switched around as they came out, but DVD wise
Is the production order. Right?
is the production order.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
that's what we have been going off of for that because it's just easier to keep track. That's how like everything's listed online, and when you buy the DVDs, season 3 is this exact order we're going
That's why
through.
we have a
Except
spreadsheet.
last one you had to go into season 4 to watch the episode.
Pretty stupid. And we've told our listeners about this several times, so they get to hear us explain it to you in a very non-condescending way, right? That being
appreciate
said, thank you for coming on.
Was
I-
it condescending? Are you
I hope
to them,
I
or-
hope it wasn't condescending. I really don't like to be considered a mansplainer. I think.
Oh
it's
no!
just like,
yeah,
it's one of those things
I'm
where like we've said
constantly
it so
afraid
much.
of mansplaining things accidentally.
I just figure I do, and I just.
I don't think
just
it
let
should be
go. Like, it's gonna happen.
mansplaining.
I'm sorry.
If I don't realize that's what I'm doing.
I was not offended by anything that was brought up.
Not even Tom's playing card penis.
No, not even the
think you have
1977 porn I brought up. I was fine
Yeah,
with it.
that's
Totally
true.
fine.
Porn explaining that to
You
everybody.
took it.
Yeah.
You took this blue way longer than before we did. So, thank you. And
I think
thank
you have
for,
a good explaining voice. I think you have a good like I'm gonna say this as professionally as I can. So
I have to do that because if I make clients feel shitty about not
Yeah.
knowing things, it can be a problem.
Yeah, everybody knows how to deal with clients and etc. Everybody has that voice.
I try and do that off mic because it will turn people off real quick.
Oh, is that your
Yeah,
frustrated
I gotta-
sigh?
That's one of them. I have a whole. I have several.
Dynamic range
yeah.
of size.
Sometimes you start.
It's like if you're a chef, you have a
Tell.
knife roll with lots of different knives for different occasions. I have a plethora of frustrated sighs. There's the ones I use on my kid.
the
There's the
family
ones I use
ones.
on my wife. There's the ones I use on clients. There's the coworker ones. There's my mother. That's a whole separate thing. I'm gonna keep those toned down for a little bit.
I like
now.
to think one time like you're conversing with them because it's like video and stuff like that. And you're just like, hold on, you put your camera down and you come back and there's like everything smashed behind you, and you're like, sorry about that.
Have you ever? Then you accidentally use one of your mother sighs for a client, and they're like, "That was
that's a
personal
little. Yeah.
sigh."
That's not nice. But thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having
Hopefully
me.
you had a good time. Where can people find you online? We know about your artistic exploits. Would you like to tell our listeners about them as well?
I'm like, where am I? I'm here and there. Laura Wimbels on Wimbels on Twitter, and then the Moth stuff that is on.
Yeah, you've been on
YouTube.
the Moth a bunch. I think
Wait,
you were
Moth?
like a Grand Slam winner.
Tell me
at
about
some
that. I
point,
don't know what
weren't
that
you?
is.
The Moth is a show on NPR.
Also, a podcast much more famous than ours.
Wait, when is it on? Do you know?
It's a storytelling show. They usually have it on Sundays.
Oh, I only listen on the weekdays.
Okay. But I think they have little snippets during the weekdays. I'm just not sure when it is, but yeah, I've done some of the story. I have a Grand Slam
It's not
coming up
hosted
in.
by a
Oh no, go ahead.
big guy with red eyes and wings.
The Mothman.
Talks a lot about,
Mothra.
I was thinking the Mothman, but Mothra too.
That too.
Zoology,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. YouTube/Wimbles. So
Hank Mothman. Sorry.
I mean, you're even downplaying the book. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes.
Like this is
No, no,
your
this is about
opportunity to sell.
Futurama.
I
No,
haven't.
no
I
one
haven't.
cares.
This
seen
is your-
it in person. Or, I mean, maybe I have or whatever. But I saw a lot of pictures online. And what's it called?
Faces of Cleveland.
And most of them are people I know. So like, it's not a lie. It's definitely Faces of Cleveland. So
Yes.
I agree. So I saw it and I was like, I agree. Those are Faces of Cleveland. So
These are
It's a book
faces
you
I
can
have
agree with.
seen
I
in
go to
this
bookstores
geographical area.
and I shove a
real book.
Polaroid picture of my face in on the copies.
I love that. I really hope you do that. Like a little pull out, just like a pop up book, just like you in various poses.
different poses, different outfits.
Yeah.
Is this your card? Turn to page 17.
Doc, do you fulfill mail orders on your book because you could do like special editions with that.
You know, hadn't, but now I will.
All of,
Look at that cat picture. That's the Joker.
that's a print from Mark Twain's house.
Well,
Yeah,
he
he's
had extreme foresight.
a funny guy.
That cat looks like it just looks like I know it's a print from his house, but what I heard was that's Mark Twain's cat. He just
Probably
looks
was.
like the smartest cat who like in the cat world, they're like, that cat has written some tomes, you know, like
In the cattery.
He's written meow, 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 meow.
for those of you at home,
Meow.
there's a picture of a cat that we're all commenting on.
Meow, meow, and the classic work, meow. Oh, God damn it.
And you can't hear that, but Pete's cats are meowing.
And now the
back at
cats
him.
are responding to me mocking them.
Caterwauling.
That's true, but they're all, thank God they're all fixed.
Can you get the book online?
I like that you're.
Yes, you can.
No. All right, wait.
That was
I
such a pregnant pause.
I like that you're so good at speaking cat that your cats responded,
And yet
but,
they don't respond to me. Like, if I tell them to shut the fuck up, they don't listen.
But more importantly, I remember getting that online. Where?
facesofcle.com.
Okay.
And with that, thank you again for
Yes,
being on the
thank you.
show.
Thank you for having me.
We can be reached at slurmcast.com, at slurmcastpod, at gmail.com, at slurmcast on Twitter and Instagram. We're on Facebook. You can call or text us at 216-438-1077.
Has anyone ever called you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole episode of playing the messages people left.
And only about
That's amazing.
Half of them are our friends. A couple of them, or a few of them were fans we don't know, and one or two of them were like telemarketers.
Your
or
dead
whatever.
father.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, one of them was the ghost of your dad.
Yeah.
I listened to that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And interestingly, only about half of our regular listeners downloaded that episode. They saw this is a bonus episode called Voicemails. It's like skip.
It was all Futurama related,
It was.
especially
the part about us getting arrested.
Yeah.
Well, hey, here's to DDC.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yay.
Cheers to everyone at this table with dead dads and everybody out there with dead dads.
And everybody else, go get bent. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.
Don't forget to neuter and spay your pets.
I already stopped the recording.